All right, what's going on, everybody? So, excuse me, I am not feeling that great. I got sick out of nowhere, and I just trying to rest up today. And then, as I was trying to get this going, I don't know. It just seems, excuse me, help me, Lord. It just seems when I do certain videos, like it's the YouTube isn't working, whatever. I put certain words in, so you got to be very careful what you get on here and say. And so I wanted to talk about two different topics in one video, just in case, because the things that I'm getting ready to talk about, can get you in trouble. And so I figured let me just put it in one video instead of two videos, in case, I get in some type of trouble or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It'll only be the one video as far as YouTube is concerned. And so I'm going to play you some video clips. Maybe some of you have heard about these things before. Weather manipulation. I've talked about it in the past. Essentially, the way that I look at it, it's with the other topics that I've talked about as well, where they're trying to give kids chemicals, to stunt their hormone, growth and all that stuff. Essentially, people playing God, right? They want to put a womb inside of a man. All of that stuff is antichrist. And there are people who are actually out here playing with the weather. And I noticed that, you know, ever since the what, I get this like sick, tired feeling in my body from time to time. But it's not like when I got sick, when I was younger. It's like a respiratory thing. Like I don't know how to explain it. Maybe you guys know what I'm talking about. It's just it's a weird, different kind of feeling, and I know that's hard to explain, but we'll talk about that a little bit more on the second half. What I want to talk about first, this is what the Lord initially put on my heart, and you can pray about this. All right. There's a lot of demonic agendas. So I'm going to talk about two demonic agendas. You guys can let me know what you think of this first one. I'm going to play the clips and then we'll go in. Look at Kamala Harris. All right. I'm going to play this clip from her husband. Well, I'm going to have to get up to do it, unfortunately. So I'm going to say this first and then I'm going to play the clip. There's something that you see with Kamala Harris. You have three weak men around her. And one of them, Joe Biden, he was weak and old, could hardly walk up the stairs. You're going to see a clip, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, of her husband, where he's on an interview, right? And he just gives real beta male energy. And it looks like he's really in line, all right, with this demonic agenda to, masculinity is toxic and the feminist, movement. And then you have her vice president, Tim Walz. He's like a fairly likable guy, like a Chris Farley, if you guys remember that, but he's not the guy that I want across from Putin. And so let's just be real for a second. Put her against Gavin Newsom. Is she winning the nomination? No. Put her against Barack Obama. Is she winning the nomination? Of course not. Put her against Bernie Sanders. Is she winning the nomination? No. Put her against Hillary Clinton. Is she winning the nomination? No. This is why she was not voted for. She was selected because they have an agenda. All right. Notice I've called her a Jezebel. Now, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but she's operating in that spirit. And notice that spirit, the type of men that are around, none of those men give that alpha male masculine energy. And the clip that I'm going to play of her husband, you're going to hear it from his own mouth, what he's all about. And it just makes me feel like, yes, I don't want this guy in the White House. And it also confirms what we talked about with Hillary Clinton and the agendas that she was going to push. Now, on the flip side, put Trump against anybody on the Republican side, he's probably winning. Put Trump against anybody that they have as a Democrat running against him, and he has a good fighting chance of winning. She doesn't, right? If it was a fair and square election and you took the best Democratic candidates, I know Obama can't run. I was just making a point. She's not going to beat Newsom. She's not going to beat Bernie Sanders. She's not going to beat a lot of these other guys, maybe not even the Shapiro guy she was thinking about having as a VP. So notice she needs all of these things to make her look strong. She needs the media, the false prophet media. Notice it's 3 versus 1 in the debates versus Trump. We just seen recently with the 60 seconds interview, they're editing her word salads out of the thing because they're trying to protect the way that she looks. We see the softball questions from the media. We see how she does without a teleprompter. And we see the opposite with Trump. He looks strong, even though the whole media is against him, whether you agree with everything that he says or doesn't, or does not, that he does. And he does stuff without a teleprompter. He's just talking who he is, and it's real. Putting her in charge of America is like putting Eve in charge of the garden instead of Adam. I seen this Nike commercial the other day. They have a gay female on there talking about, these female WNBA players. This is like the real dynasty. You go look it up. It's mind-blowing that people really believe this. So I'm going to play you these clips. I wanted to say that in the beginning before I get up and I walk over there, but this is the reality, and it's something to think about. I believe that there is a Jezebel-spirited operation. That's why you see 3 weak men. All right, Biden, weak and old. Her husband is a beta male. You're going to see the video. And then her vice president, they didn't pick like a strong, guy. Like, put it this way. If everything went crazy, Putin's not going to respect her. Kim Jong-un's not going to respect her. These world leaders overseas are not going to respect her. They're not going to take her serious. Now, I know this is why I brought up the Nike commercial. Women can do everything that man can do. The Bible says God made the man to be the head. So when you see this interview of her husband talking, I'm going to just let the clips ride. It just doesn't sit right with me. And then we're going to go into the weather manipulation and all that stuff. Let me get up. Let me play this clip for you. Share my screen with you guys, and let's play it.
Being second gentleman changed your own view of perceived gender roles or what it means to be a man?
There's too much of toxicity. It's masculine toxicity out there, and we've kind of confused what it means to be a man, what it means to be masculine. I think it's a problem, and I'm going to continue to use this platform every time I get to speak out against this toxic masculinity that's out there.
He's a rogue, all right, notorious for his flamboyant lifestyle. Flashy clothes, fancy parties, fine women,
Are you his daughter? No, I'm not.
and fast cars.
You should from now on address me as the mayor.
If ever a man and a municipality were made for each other, it is this man.
You asked for Miller High Life. You asked for High Life. I'm just curious.
Okay, the last
This is
time
during the
I had
hurricane
beer
right here.
was
This
at a
is who they want to be our
baseball game
president.
with
Okay,
Doug,
so cheers. There you go.
cheers.
There you go. Ooh. That
Yep.
tastes like the beautiful city of Milwaukee,
The
Wisconsin.
champagne and beers.
There you go.
Well, if anything,
This is crazy right here.
would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. Look, the NRA, I was an NRA guy for a long time. They used to.
You know, they were talking about climate change
Now watch this.
yesterday.
This is what I'm talking
and now
about
we're
with
learning
weather
that
stuff.
scientists and researchers are looking at how to change the weather on purpose. That's right. Lasers now could one day manipulate rain and lightning. CBS This Morning contributor Michio Kaku is a physics professor at City College of New York. Professor, nice to see.
I mean, lasers really to change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this
We're here in Santa Barbara County, home to one of the longest running cloud seeding operations in the country. We've got some ground-based cloud seeding equipment right here, and we're going to get to hear all about how it works and see it in action. Let's check it out. Cloud seeding is the most common type of weather modification, and it has many different techniques and applications. Today, it's mostly used to increase rain and snowfall, reduce the size of hail, and reduce fog at airports.
Traditionally, cloud seeding has been done from the air. So airplanes have had racks on them where these same flares are positioned on the airplane, and the airplane flies into the storm.
Right?
So in order to reduce the cost to the client and reduce our carbon footprint, we've been able to station these on the ground. Now, we can do this in places where weather permits.
Behind a barbed wire fence designed to keep away curious cattle, the cloud seeding gear awaits the right kind of weather.
So the whole ball of wax was that the government-backed weather experimentation was forced to officially, in quotes I mean, abstain from cloud seeding when the storm they were targeting had more than a 10% chance of landing on U.S. soil within 24 to 36 hours. Why? Because in the 1947 test, officially known as Project Cirrus, led by General Electric chemist and scientist Irving Langmuir, as well as the U.S. Navy and U.S. Air Force, likely steered a deadly hurricane into Savannah, Georgia, and the public was hopping mad about it. Langmuir, for one, took credit for it. And the powers that be admitted man-made technology and interference from man indeed had the power both to intensify storms and to direct them onto land, whether intentionally or incidentally. Yes, the public and Congress used to be keenly aware of attempts at hurricane steering and weather manipulation in general, and the controversy surrounding it prompted an 11-year official, in quotes I mean, hiatus before Operation Storm Fury could officially resume with military and U.S. government support in 1962 and beyond.
All right, so let's talk about it for a minute. I'm sorry I had to get up and move around, but the stuff is just acting absolutely crazy right now. So you see what I'm saying? This has been going on for a while. And essentially what you have is people trying to play God. I believe that the first half of what we were talking about, there's a spirit where these people are putting their fists, in God's face and saying, you know what? No, we're not going to follow God's order for the family. We're not going to follow, God's order for marriage. We're going to do these surgeries and make a man be a woman and a woman be a man and make them use this bathroom. And matter of fact, we're really like the Tower of Babel. And I believe it's just a sign that we're in the end times, right? God let them build so far before he said enough is enough. And they have continued to build with science, to build with all this antichrist stuff. And really, no matter how you put it, you say, well, I don't believe in God. I don't think God is real. Why is there so many things there to defy him? And so with Kamala Harris, right, the reason I brought that up, I said, look at the common theme. Look at the agendas, the narratives that are being pushed in America. What is the common thing between those three guys? Joe Biden, weak and old. You saw the interview with her husband. He's got beta male energy. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but he's the kind of guy like, yeah, girl, you be in charge, and yeah, masculinity is toxic and all that kind of stuff. And what does it really mean to be a man in America? I don't want that in the White House. That's part of the narrative and the agenda that they're trying to push. And then you have her guy, Walls, right? He's the guy doing what? He's putting tampons in the boys' bathroom. This is a Jezebel spirit. It's a Jezebel system. We've talked about all the other things, but notice you got 3 weak men and then this woman that they're trying to use to push this feminist agenda. And the reality is, look, America can be under that delusion, but Russia's not under that delusion. North Korea is not under that delusion. The Middle East is not under that delusion. They're not going to take Kamala Harris serious. They're not going to take her serious. The real ones here in America, we don't take her serious. So you think these countries that hate America, right? You think that they which one you think they prefer, Trump or her? There were no wars when Trump was there. Because it doesn't even sound right. The first gentleman, I'm sorry, it just doesn't sound right. And I believe that if we let this witch, and yes, she's operating in witchcraft, if we let her get in office, it's going to be bad for America. Y'all thought it was, people didn't listen the last time when I said, hey, if America wants the King Saul, they're going to get the King Saul. But hopefully they listen to the warnings and people see how bad it's got. It's going to be even worse. And then you got these people messing with the weather, right? And we got to be very careful what we say here. But essentially what it comes down to, guys, is the Bible says, as in the days of Noah, there are people defying God. There are people trying to play God, trying to be God, trying to, fix the world. All this, people talk about the climate. You know what? I got to be so careful what I say. Are they going to mess with the video? But they keep pushing this narrative about the whole climate. And then I think really it's an excuse for them to do what they're doing and experiment. So I'm not going to get too deep in that. You can take that where you want your mind to go, but we need to really be prayed up. This is a spiritual battle, and the devil takes no days off, and the devil will use whoever he can, whenever he can. He's roaming the earth like a lion, seeking who he can devour. He's here to kill, steal, and destroy. And so a lot of people work for the devil because what? They want power. They want fame. They want riches. They want security. The same thing that the devil tempted Jesus with. He said, you bow down, you worship me, I'll give you this. Well, there's a lot of people that are you think about it. Why is America obsessed with this? Kamala Harris went all the way to Africa and pretty much told them they need to change their LGBTQ stance, or essentially we're going to put some tariffs on you. We're going to put some taxes on you. Why are we so obsessed with pushing that? And it's like, it's sad because Christians get mad about what I'm talking about. They don't want to see it. Why are we so obsessed with pushing those agendas? Because they've come into covenant with Satan. Some of them ignorantly, some of them knowingly. We know about the whole Freemasons. We know about whatever you want to call it, the Illuminati, all these organizations. Listen, they don't just get power and they don't just get that kind of fame for nothing. Same thing we see in the music industry, right? If you're in the music industry, you want to be a famous artist, guess what? We're going to put some demonic stuff in your music video. We're going to put some demonic themes, imagery all over the place. We're going to make you even do some demonic rituals. So hey, look, you guys can think it's a joke. You can think I'm doing too much. You better wake up, pay attention. All right. Pray for me. I'm not feeling so well, but God is in control. Go to www.marcusrogersministries.org if you want to support what we're doing here in Chicago. And, go listen to the Breakthrough Season album. It's been out for a couple weeks now. It went all the way to number 8 on the charts. I greatly appreciate the support. We have the God in the City Challenge, God in Our City Challenge. You can go to Instagram or TikTok. All you got to do is take the song, do a clip of you running through your city, dancing through your city, or just standing on the corner, prophesying the lyrics. Send it to me. I'm sowing into a couple people's ministry. They're putting their cash app in the corner, and I'm just blessing some people. Love you guys. Be blessed. Have a wonderful evening in Jesus' name. If you're in Chicago, remember we got the revival to starting this weekend with Richard Lorenzo. God bless.